You know that person, the one who walks into a room and just connects with everyone, almost effortlessly. It feels like they have some kind of superpower. We're all trying to crack that code, right? The code of social grace. But what if I told you the blueprint has been hiding in plain sight for literally thousands of years? Let's dig it up.
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you walk into any situation, feel confident, and leave a great impression? We're constantly looking to modern gurus, to best-selling books, to viral videos for the secret sauce. But here's the thing. The advice we're going to unpack today, it isn't new at all. In fact, it's ancient. And it's tucked away in a text that's famous for, well, something totally different. And I'm willing to bet the source is going to surprise you.
That's right, the Kama Sutra. Now, I know what you're thinking, but hold on. While it's famous almost entirely for its teachings on physical love, a huge chunk of the text is actually a detailed guide to being a cultured, successful, and respected person in society. It's really a complete manual for a well-lived life.
So the whole stage for this social masterclass is a place called the Ghosty. Just think of it as a sophisticated social gathering. You know, a salon, a mixer, a party, where the main events are art, culture, and great conversation. Vatsyayana gives us the rules for how to absolutely shine in this exact setting.
All right, so what's secret number one to winning over the crowd at the Ghosty? Well, it all starts with how you speak. And let me tell you, this piece of advice is shockingly relevant for our world of Zoom calls, office meetings, and yeah, even first dates.
The text gets super specific here. See, back then, Sanskrit was the formal, highbrow language of the educated elite. The local tongue, on the other hand, was just everyday language, what everybody spoke on the street. And Vatsyayana's advice? Don't get stuck in just one.
And this is where it gets brilliant for us today. Think about it. If you only speak in technical jargon or super academic language, sure, you might sound smart, but you're going to alienate half the room. You'll seem out of touch. But on the other hand, if you're too casual, using way too much slang, you might seem relatable, but you could lose your credibility. The key, the absolute secret, is balance. You have to connect with everyone, from the expert in the room to the total beginner, to really earn that respect.
Okay, knowing how to talk is one thing, but Vatsyayana is just as clear about where you shouldn't be talking. He gives us this really sharp guide to the social circles you need to actively avoid if you want to protect your reputation.
He lays out 3 massive red flags. First up, the hated. You got to avoid groups that are publicly disliked, because, like it or not, you're judged by the company you keep. Second, the unrestrained. Steer clear of those chaotic groups, the ones with no discipline or self-control. And finally, the malicious. And this might be the most important one of all. Get away from any group that's all about gossip and tearing other people down. The message is pretty simple. A smart person knows when to just walk away.
So we know who to avoid. But where should we be hanging out? Vatsyayana doesn't just leave us with a list of warnings. Nope, he gives us a really clear picture of the perfect social scene. The kind of gathering that's actually going to help you get ahead.
And his advice for finding your tribe is, honestly, so simple it's kind of profound. He says to look for just 2 things. First, popular appeal. Join groups that are well-liked and generally positive. In other words, no drama. And second, pure fun. Look for gatherings where the main goal is just enjoyment and good company. It's a great reminder that the best connections, the real ones, are usually built when there's no stress and no ulterior motives.
Okay, so you've mastered your speech, you're dodging the toxic crowds, and you've found your ideal social circle. So what? What's the ultimate reward for all this social savvy? Well, Vatsyayana is very clear about the big prize, and he even gives it a name.
He calls it Siddhi. It's a powerful idea, and it's the whole point of mastering the art of the Ghosty.
So Siddhi means way more than just being popular at parties. We're talking about achieving real success, true mastery in your field, and serious worldly accomplishment. It's about becoming effective, influential in all parts of your life. This social skill isn't just a party trick. It's presented as a cornerstone of a truly successful life.
And this brings us to this final, incredible line from the commentary on the text. It basically says that if you can master these social arts, you will become a master in the world. You'll achieve that broad success and influence. And then it kind of cheekily adds, if you can pull that off, well, success in your love life is pretty much a given.
So it really leaves us with this one big thought, doesn't it?
The technology, the languages, the settings, all of that changes. An ancient Indian salon becomes a modern conference room. But the fundamental rules of human connection, speaking with balance, choosing your friends wisely, looking for positive spaces, those seem to be completely timeless. And if that's true, it really makes you wonder, maybe we haven't changed quite as much as we think we have.